Let's talk about shortcuts. Every map has them. Those thin dashed lines that promise to shave an hour off your trip. A little adventure. But a road isn't just gravel and dirt. It's a story. And some stories are hungry. This is a story about a shortcut that should have stayed forgotten. A path that wasn't a path at all, but a digestive tract. And 5 young men who rode right down its throat. Family, light a candle. This is the Dread Codex. And our tale begins in a hollow, where the only thing deeper than the silence is the well. My name is Benjamin. I don't ride with my visor up after dark anymore. I don't stop for hitchhikers. This is why. Last winter, 5 of us left Philadelphia for the hills of West Virginia. We were chasing quiet. Our friend Micah had family land outside a ghost town called Mercy's Hollow. A cabin. No signal. It sounded like peace. There was Asher, who watched everything. Jonah, who laughed to fill the silence. Mateo, whose family tree was full of old Appalachian preachers who knew about things that walked in the spaces between prayers. And me. We met Micah as the sun was dying. The cabin was perfect, wood smoke, kerosene light, the smell of pine and cold stone. But across the overgrown meadow was the church. Its bones were gray with rot. The steeple was a broken finger against the purple sky, and the entire side facing us was scorched black. A perfect blistering silhouette, as if a giant shadow had been burned onto the wood by a flash of hellfire. That night, over canned beans, Micah wouldn't look at it. Old Hollow Church, he mumbled. Burned down in 78. Bad place. Leave it be, but the church didn't just sit there. It watched. Micah's Aunt Ruth lived with him. A woman made of whispers and dust. She never spoke, but every night, at the exact same minute, she'd walk to the porch edge and stand for hours, staring at the burned shell, just waiting. The first wrong thing happened at 3:17 a.m. I woke up needing to piss. I shook Asher. Come with me. As we stood, we saw Aunt Ruth. In the dark, she uncurled from her cot. She didn't creak. She flowed. And she was out the back door before our feet hit the floor. We followed, our path taking us past the outhouse. Its door was shut. A rusty hook was latched on the outside. She wasn't inside. She couldn't be. But the cabin's main door was still bolted behind us. With shaking hands, I lifted the hook. The door swung open. Empty. And so cold it hurt to breathe. It smelled of wet charcoal and sweet rot, like a hymnal left in a flooded grave. We ran back. Minutes later, the back door opened. Aunt Ruth walked in, her nightgown soaked with dew. She went to her cot, picked up her pillow, and began to beat it against her own forehead. Thump, thump, thump. A stream of guttural, ancient words spilled from her lips. Then she lay down, the pillow pressed over her face, and went still. Asher and I didn't sleep. We made a pact. We were guests. We didn't know the rules of this hollow. The days were beautiful. The hills were a crushing, gorgeous weight. But the nights belonged to the church. On our last night, Micah got a call. His eyes lit up. There's a homecoming, he said. A revival. Deep in the next holler. At the old Gethsemane camp. Real mountain singing. A proper send-off. Mateo went pale. Gethsemane. That ground is wrong. "The well there, it's just singing," Micah snapped, a strange sharpness in his voice. "Are you coming or not?" We went. The road became a tunnel of black. The camp wasn't a revival. It was a vigil. A handful of shadows on benches. One old man with a guitar, picking a dirge about blood and being buried in the ground. I couldn't breathe. I walked away, phone to my ear, calling a girl back home. The trees swallowed the sad music. "Go further," she said. "I can't hear you." I stepped further. At midnight, I wished her a happy new year. And then, underneath her reply, another voice. A woman, sobbing from the woods in front of me. "Help me, he won't let me leave. The well is so deep," my blood froze. "Hold on," I whispered. I took a step. Instantly, the same weeping breath was directly behind my ear. "Help me. He is in the walls." I ran. Matteo saw my face and knew. We leave. Now. Not the way we came. There's a logging trace by the creek. It's shorter. As we mounted our bikes, Matteo's voice was iron. "Listen. You will see things. You will hear your names. Do not stop. Do not look into the woods. If your headlight catches something on the road, you drive through it. Your faith is in the throttle. Do you understand?" We nodded, throats tight. We were a train of 3 bikes and Micah's ATV, plunging into a throat of pure dark. I stopped. The fear was a stone in my chest. "Asher, ride with me," he climbed on. We sped to catch up. That's when the screaming began from the left. Not from deep in. From just beyond the trees. Keeping pace. "My face is in the walls," Matteo roared beside us. "Don't look," we tried. We failed. A shadow moved among the trees. Tall, thin. Loping on all fours like a starved dog, its head twisted all the way around to watch us. We gunned it. But Micah's ATV sputtered. Fell behind. He screamed. Not in fear. In recognition. We braked, turned. Our headlights painted the scene. 2 young men stood in the road. Clothes from another decade. Pushing a rust-eaten motorcycle whose wheels didn't turn. They were not looking at the road. Their faces were turned toward us. They had no faces. Just smooth, dark hollows. Like clay masks with nothing behind them. Matteo screamed. "Micah, go!" But Micah was frozen, staring at the thing in the faded t-shirt as it let go of the bike. It started walking toward him. Its movement was a series of jerks. A broken machine learning to be a man. The faceless thing reached out. Its hand wasn't a hand. It was gnarled root and blackened clay, dripping with bog water. Matteo moved. He ripped an old iron pendant from his neck, a traveler's cross. He held it high, and his voice broke into a raw, commanding shout, a binding prayer in Old Welsh. The thing halted. Matteo slapped Micah. "Go!" Micah's ATV screamed to life. As we fled, the second figure, the one in the hoodie, turned its void toward Matteo. And it began to run. Not like a man. It skittered. Fast as a hunting spider, limbs cracking like dry branches. We didn't breathe until we saw the cabin. We fell inside, sobbing. Micah was gone, just a shell. Aunt Ruth was not on the porch. She was inside, standing in the center of the room, facing the old stone chimney. She was speaking to the wall, clear as a bell. "I'm here, my love. I'm still here. I brought you some new voices for the choir." We left at dawn. We learned the truth 40 miles later, from a shaking old man at a gas pump. The old hollow church didn't just burn. The young pastor, Reverend Absalom King, locked his congregation inside, bricked the windows, and on the final night he preached a sermon of purification by flame. They found him in the ashes unburned, sitting upright in the pulpit, surrounded by his flock. The ground was too frozen to bury them deep. They're right under the topsoil. And Aunt Ruth? She wasn't his aunt. She was his last living relative, the guardian of the hollow, the keeper of the congregation. But the story doesn't end. Asher hears scratching in his walls. Not rats. Rhythmic. Like fingernails on plaster. Jonah doesn't laugh anymore. He only whispers. And he's always cold. Micah paints the same picture over and over. A black church. A well. Faceless men pushing a bike made of bones. And me. Last night, my kitchen faucet started dripping in a pattern. SOS. And from the speaker of my dead phone, charging in the corner, a voice, layered and distorted, whispered, "The revival is not over, brother. The congregation must grow. We follow the sound of your fear. We are always gathering. This is the story of the Gethsemane Trace, Mercy's Hollow. It is not a story of ghosts. It is a story of a mouth, and what it means to be swallowed. The most profound evil doesn't hate the divine. It tries to build its own. It takes faith and twists it into a lock. It turns a house of worship into a tomb that is always, always hungry. So listen. If you are ever offered a shortcut through a silent wood, if the path feels less like earth and more like a waiting throat, if you hear an invitation to join a choir that has not sung in living memory, you turn your bike around. You ride. And you never, ever look back. If you have a story that haunts the space behind your eyes, send it to us. Your truth becomes our tale. Your engagement keeps these stories alive. Until next time, may your road be straight. May your light never fail. Good night.